My name's Jubilee. I think I know how to dismantle capitalism, and I'm still trying to figure out how to explain not that I know how to dismantle capitalism, because dear God, I haven't shut up about it, but the role of what that means, to understand what it means to feel like you know how to save the world, and everything that implies. Not the that means everyone needs to come help me. You literally can't do anything else, right? Like there's no other let's take a break from saving the world because clearly everyone else has it, right? No one else has it, and the more people are discounting that. But anyway, my procrastination, I always know what I'm procrastinating from, and I'm not really procrastinating at the moment. I'm waiting for other people to join me, so I know what I'm waiting for. I just don't know what my piece is to fill that in. So here is the Mean Girls Are Sad Girls channel that was started in February of this year after Ali Priestley relentlessly bullied autistic creator after autistic creator under the guise of protecting them from New Age spirituality, and under the guise of protecting the world from New Age spirituality, will miss, whether on purpose or not, just like misrepresenting every belief, every piece of that belief system. She created a circus around a woman's death, centering herself and saying, like, yeah, I've been telling you all along someone was going to die. And then when someone died, she jumped at it from a comment of someone saying, hey, my friend was going through a hard time. She thought she was Jesus. Ali took that as gospel before even watching Jessica's last video, put out on December 30th. There was no, anyway. There has been a lot that has went down since January. So Mean Girls Is Sad Girls was started because I didn't want Ali's content all over my other YouTube channels. However, this is stretched on for 6 months, and we're now starting season 2. So this channel is going to be both looking at what's happened over the last 6 months and showcasing all the antics she's going to do moving forward, because she never stops. She's been saying she's going to stop and everyone should stop, and she never stops. This is the whole point. She's showcasing what she did on TikTok. So here is Mean Girls Is Sad Girls. Yes, there's a lot of content, right? I was like, are we ever going to watch this? At some point we might watch it. It's 3 hours long though, but it's my very first one. And I get up and take the garbage out and do a bunch of other things. But these are the live videos, recorded, generally unlisted, and then put public. So bad for the algorithm, but I needed to record one little Narcnado and her ridiculous antics and process it, especially after what she did on my birthday. So there's a lot. Talk with Ali P turns a woman's death into a circus for her own desires, the timeline. There's a bit in her where she centers herself in her friend's death and is a horrible friend to him. Cry symbols, harming a Black woman, reputation for her cult leader's benefit. Ali's scared of me because I'm a good person, and I terrify her because she's pretending to be a good person and in absolutely no way is a good person. That's my hyperbolic language. I'm sure in some ways she's a good person. However, her ridiculous antics and the impact of her overall actions, she's having more of a negative impact in the world than a positive one, in my opinion. So here's the lives. 17 signs of narcissists worsening as they age. Do they apply to Ali? Ali's scared of you. Like, Karen's court was last night, but Regina George is not done. Nor did she show. This would be a good, actually, because we are going to watch some of this, right? This is the live channel. And then some of them still recorded in the same way. Don't think there's editing done here, but they do have thumbnails. Some that were more important that either couldn't be on the live channel or just needed to be downloaded and re-uploaded. I even, look at this, have some thumbnails that I started. So we could watch the first one of those. And then let's see if I talk about, what do I talk about? And then home, there's this, which is on the home channel. Jubilee answers Ali's constant question. What did I do to you? Where I literally just list out over the last, what she's done to Jessica, Jane, Roxy, Michelle, Carrie Ann, me, and the Sams. And it's not an exhaustive list, right? There's a reason there's a season 2, and it's because Ali does not know how to put anything down. And I'm no longer going to be posting on the Mean Girls Is Sad Girls channel for the next few months. So it's happening here. We're going to recap why there's so much content on the Mean Girls Is Sad Girls channel. 1, because it's how I process, right? And 2, Because I do them live. Allie, let's go over to her account because this is what her account was. So they're very critical, right? I should not have this much content. Did you listen to it? Because again, the girl starts cults, right? The girl harms people and just continually doesn't. She's attacking these very specific 5, 6, 7, because she adds some and subtracts some sometimes, people constantly. Because she got narcissistically hurt and she cannot handle that she caused a circus around a woman's death. She cannot handle, she misunderstood the therapy client coach relationship and effed that up royally, both for future clients and for that client, right? She just showcased no one should ever have this woman, should be this woman's client. She doesn't understand boundaries, doesn't understand ethics. Not a great idea. Well, she's saying she should be, I never pretended to be a therapist. Well, she's saying she should be Alex Serves Tea therapist, full on up on her YouTube channel. So this again is, I'm just gonna go here. Here's the video. So this is videos. So this is just the ones that I uploaded about Allie. Allie's loving the cops. Some of them are here because they're short and they were supposed to be on the shorts page, but they never really made it there. Allie Priestley is a liar and bully. This channel has a lot of content because she has done a lot. Exactly. So that is my channel. We are going to watch some of that content, but quickly, let's go and see. This is Allie's content before, when she had someone editing. She put up 2 on Alex Serves Tea, 2 on quantum shifting, 2 on Zoomhoff, where she's just working through calling everyone a narcissist, saying she's done with everyone else. Well, she literally gives no actual helpful content or advice. Then she actually talks about some issues in her own life. She's taken out one video that was just on her friend who was dying and she was being horrible too and calling a narcissist and bad-mouthing him on the internet, which she's taken down since his passing in April. After his passing, New Age spirituality. This is where she swears at Jane for a good hour while saying nothing, and then was waiting the same day Jane posted their video on the situation, going over 1 week of interacting with Allie and Allie's followers. Allie was both, I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to post mine until you post yours. I'll never watch it. So I can debunk it in 2 seconds. Basically exactly what she does with the podcast, right? Yeah. Here's Mean Girl Spirituality that came out. It has me in it, it has Jane in it, has all of us in it, because she's not done. She's never done. Then she goes on, she berates us in these ones too. It's not like she's actually just sticking to her story, talks about her childhood trauma, and then yells at anyone else who talks about her childhood trauma. Good fun. So none of these are edited. Like, really, this one, in fact, if you look at it at the very end, she's talking to herself, and it's
prove that I'm the person that they say that I am, because I'm not. They are the monsters. They are the abusers. They are the ones who are willing to scam their audience and lie. I mean, right?
No evidence, right?
Platform. They were able to trick TikTok for a little bit, and they did it in a super illegal way. And there will be consequences.
By the way, what is super illegal? I mean, don't get me wrong. I talk in hyperbolic language all the time, but what's super illegal, right? It's not illegal. It's not illegal at all. Hurting Allie Priestley's feelings is like super illegal because she's the center of the universe. So anything, if you haven't okayed your day through this Allie Priestley, you might be breaking the law. We're not watching this. That's not what we're doing. We're not going back there.
It's for all of this, and it's just going to take time. But I am going to move on with my life in the meantime.
Lies, lies, lies. May 5th. So this is the day she posted after saying she was going to post to content, right? I went away for that weekend, mentioned, I was like, oh, Allie with her lies. She lies. That's all I'm going to put going away. She thought I was going to Colorado where she lives. I was going to go pick up some other people and we're going to go to Colorado and hurt her. No, you're the only one who thinks that way, as she has threatened to go to other people, drive hours to get there. She threatens it daily. Like, she doesn't threaten that daily, but she has threatened it on multiple days. I'm sure she will do it again. So back to her channel that her ridiculous followers have no problem with. So Allie Priestley videos, that's what we were looking at. that was this one, bullied off the TikTok, and then she has one on 15 minutes where she's basically just swearing at me while she's saying she's tapping into my vulnerability and saying, like, what she says about her dead friends. She's like, yeah, I made a mistake with him, so you fix that. That's not up me to fix. You need to repair that. You need to go journal. You need to figure that the F out. She's like, again, she wants the whole world to center her. How about you center him in his death? You centered you in him dying. You swore at his mother and then posted about it on Instagram and berated her again while her son was dying. At one point on this channel, we're going to watch that one of me going through her YouTube video about him and her Instagrams at the time he is passing away. I didn't know my friend was passing away. Yes, you did, because you made a long form YouTube video about him back in the fall. So this is her content. And then she made a, so it's only 15 minutes. It's not really edited though. Look, she may have edited that one. She then goes and just makes more of a circus around Jessica's death, addressing a major rumor about me where she's attacking people that are dangerous. Good times, Allie. And then again, a 2-hour one on me. It takes me 3 times the amount of time to go through any of these videos. I talk a lot. So that was a lot. It took me there's 3 or 4 parts going through this enough one. I'm not an influencer. Like, what I mean by that is I'm not trying to get followers. I'm not trying to make content that's going to have, like, you know, better social media type content, because it's the actual, like, thing underneath the content. I didn't know that all along while I was doing it. I was trying to make better content, and I'm like, oh, it's exactly as it's meant to be. Got it. She somehow has decided to copy me. Sweetie, she pretended that when she was editing, when she was doing the Alex Serves Tea and Zoomhoff ones, that was her doing it. But now she's lost that skill. She didn't give anyone credit. She didn't say someone else was editing those. This is her lives, which you can tell basically start when she can no longer edit because someone else was editing. She's on for an hour and a half, lying through her teeth as usual from May 27th. So May 5th, right? She did that one. She doesn't edit her long form ones, and now she's just going live. And this is all she can do. Here's her live from 2 days ago. Here's her 5.5 hour live from 2 weeks ago. She's basically just watching doxed and swearing at them. And her followers are down with that. Her followers like the bully, and that's why they followed her to begin with. She is a call-out account. She has amassed a call-out account type following. People who love the calling out, love being bullies, love going and attacking people. It's their hobby. So now back to my channel, and we'll watch some. Means I should probably be off mute while I'm talking to myself. Okay, back. Can we just go back? No, we can just go back. One more back. 2 more backs. Clearly it would have been much faster. Just okay. What is it we were going to watch? The first one on the videos one. Allie's TikTok videos. I am Jubilee, and Allie put me in her most recent video on TikTok and got me even more involved than I'd already gotten myself into this CULT she has created upon TikTok. And I've been blocked by Allie. Allie is terrified of me. But turns out she has some followers who are deeply concerned about her and her behavior. So they sent me some videos, and I can't edit, so you're going to get the long form of this, but I'm figuring out how to re-upload it so it doesn't appear live, meaning just that it is on the first tab of the channel and not on the live tab. So the beauty of this is I'm going to add this to the screen, and it's just going to start playing, and I have them synced up. So let's go. This is going to be hopefully under 10 minutes, but it's me, under half an hour.
They're always trying to sell you an illusion. That's not what you need to look out for. The red.
What am I selling, Jen? Hey, Jen. Hey, Jen. Wow. You decided to take a break from social media. We talked before that. We barely know each other. And now you think I'm a cult leader too? I can't, like, at first I was really upset for a second, and now I'm just cracking up. Did you want to speak to me about it like a grown adult, or did you just want to dogpile on all of this?
I'm sure previous me is gonna probably point out this same thing, but like, why she's so obsessed with people not seeing that she's running a cult. She's less concerned about actually running a cult, right? Allie, you were and have been for the last 6 months and are still continuing to dictate how other people should behave, how other people should get their information, how other people should think, and how other people should emote, while taking no ownership of that. Not even knowing I think you're doing it, but it's the first sentence of most of your videos. We're not going to talk to these people anymore. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. You all can't do this. You're a cult leader without a cult now, with some very sad cult followers, handful. They're also LOL cowing you. It's season 2 is more depressing for sure. This one's not well.
Are you gonna watch the 4-part series that I just put out about what actually happened?
Okay, man, I can't wait for the whole thing to end. We're gonna need to rewind because there was too much to say.
You decided to take a break from social media.
First of all, Jen, I don't remember what their username is, but we are friends. We became friends at the very beginning of this. We've had very few back and forth exchanges because I got in contact with them when I still had a lot of fatigue. I was still living by old rules and wasn't able to text back and forth. Not the point. We're trying to keep this short. Put out a lot of content that is really good on, I don't even believe she names Allie, but Allie knows she's talking about her, that they didn't know each other very well, but that she still sent people over and now feels guilty. And she put out a lot of content on how to spot a cult leader, actual helpful stuff. But what does Allie say about her? That the exact opposite. Cannot own any part that she has played in anything, as Allie owns.
We talked before that. We barely know each other. And now you think I'm a cult leader too?
Right. Another person who knows you and has seen how you behave thinks you are acting like a cult leader. Maybe listen to them instead of your followers.
I can't, like, at first I was really upset for a second, and now I'm just cracking up.
Then I couldn't actually own any of my own emotions. So like, it's on you. You also think, why are there hundreds of people telling me I'm a cult leader? God, they're clearly all cult leaders instead. Why are 100 people telling me I'm in spiritual psychosis? They're clearly in spiritual psychosis. But she's only listening to her followers who are her echo chamber. Allie here.
Did you want to speak to me about it like a grown adult, or did you just want to dogpile on all of this? Are you going to watch the 4-part series that I just put out about what actually happened? Or are you a part of the...
I know enough to know if Allie put it out, it is absolutely not what actually happened in any way, shape, or form. We will be going through a little piece of that I got sent in a different video, not this one.
This group of people who doesn't believe evidence.
Those are your followers, Allie. Only your followers don't believe evidence. You just don't like that people actually want actual receipts and not receipts.
What is this? Just because I have a following does not make me a cult leader.
No. Being a cult leader makes you a cult leader. What you do with that following and how you use that following and how you are obsessed and addicted to that following. That parasocial relationship is not good for you and you're not good for it.
This is so psychologically damaging, and none of you should be educating.
You are psychologically damaging for everybody on TikTok who encounters you.
On cults.
All right, next.
So now I'm going to be skeptical of everybody that does energy healing. Or
everybody should be.
So again, even if energy healing is completely appropriated from cultures around the world, that means if you throw it all out, you're going to also throw out what is appropriated from. Energy healing might not be able to be scientifically proven in current Western scientific standards who won't even allow it to be proven. That doesn't mean there is no validity. That does not mean all energy healers are suspect. Just a large part of them. And Allie here. So if you're friends with her, you're allowed to sell anything you want to sell. But if you're not friends with her, you are a scammer. her friend, her influencer friend, who's rather new to this, but still been in for a few months, so they've seen her ridiculous bullying and have chosen to stand behind her in that bullying. Katie Felton, I don't remember what it was. I'm bringing up Katie Felton. What it just whatever she just said. Oh, that like this person sells course like how to be an influencer, how to sell courses on how to be an influencer. Allie would call her out in a heartbeat if she wasn't her friend. Her and Jen were friends, and then as soon as Jen's like, wait a minute, you're dictating people's behavior, you're acting like a cult. Allie's like, well, you do energy healing. That she did before too, when you were friends, and you were totally fine with that. Just now that you're not, right? Again, Allie's the center. Just okay all of your behaviors and information and thoughts and emotions through her, and then we'll be fine. She'll be busy okaying all of those things, but because she changes throughout the day, right? Her own rules she lives by changes throughout the day. It'll be exhausting, but you won't piss off one little narc-nado who loves the cops. Them and most of them that share our pigmentation, but not all of them. So you have to be discerning for yourself.
Skeptical of everyone who does energy healing, Jen. That's the whole point of my page. It gets people killed. Can you prove that energy healing?
You see, it gets people like, so when I went to get Reiki and listened to my own body and felt calmer after and was like, I don't know if it was from that or just thinking it was from that. Can you please point to me how that actually gets people killed? Because you're dangerous. You're getting people actually stalked in real life and actual real world things happening. And you like to draw these random crazy conclusions of like murder and death. Explain to me how going for Reiki healing is going to cause death. And I don't even believe in Reiki healing. You know what I mean? Like,
healing is real? Can you show me how energy works in a traumatized brain? Thank you.
Can you show me how a traumatized brain, without ever healing itself or deconstructing anything, has started a cult on TikTok and that's hurting everybody's brains? Because I can show you that. That is what I'm showing you.
For getting to the point of my whole entire page is I teach people how to be skeptical. I teach them.
No, she doesn't. Her entire following does not know how to be skeptical. They don't even know how to be skeptical of their own thoughts that were implanted from Allison. This is what the cult is. This is why it's scary. She is not teaching critical thinking in any way, shape, or form. She is asking people to trust her wholeheartedly and pretend receipts exist when they don't. Just because she says the word receipt. Like, we've proved it. We've already gotten past this. Over you making a real woman's death into a circus? I sure haven't gotten past that. Over you making your friend's deathbed all about you? I haven't gotten past that. I haven't gotten past any of this.
How to learn about their brain. I teach them how to protect themselves from.
No, she doesn't. She offers zero education. Zero. It's all a call-out account. It is only attacking other people. She says she's doing that. Her audience, I think, even thinks she's doing that. Because she'll mention books and they'll go out and read those books and be like, Allie taught me that. No, the author taught you that.
Bogus energy healers. Why do you do therapy tarot? What is that?
This is the most condescending question. I can't imagine why Jen wouldn't want to sit down with you and explain her modality and why it's worth money to people. And like, I can't imagine why she wouldn't want to do that. With this attitude and the throw the baby out with the bathwater, all energy healing is completely wrong and bad and offers no help to anyone. Like, people can't make their own discerning choices and decide if their money is worth what they're getting. And collectively together, we can decide who is better than who actually offers energy healing that works. That's by the clients talking, right? The clients talking to one another.
What is that? Can you show me how that works? And what you're actually doing for a brain that has autism or something? I'm not trying to come for.
I have no idea if Jen has said that she can heal autism. I doubt it. I don't even know if Jen is autistic. I'm going to go with yes, because it's more than a coin flip if we're friends. But don't go with yes. Now I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, can you tell me that I don't think Jen has said that it would heal autistic brains, like meaning not make them autistic, because no one like, but also having autism and also having a traumatized brain and TBIs, yeah, I would love my brain to heal. I'm still going to have autism. I wouldn't necessarily go with Jen's modality or definitely on Allie's, but that doesn't mean that other people don't find validity, and that doesn't help them. Different people with the same conditions have found help in a myriad of ways.
Tarot, but let's talk about how messy this really gets when you start charging people for things like tarot.
Allie was doxing a client, so Allie has had clients. She conveniently likes to forget that. Okay, so Allie has charged people, and well, this should be fun. As Sam comes up, let's look at whether my opinion has changed. Did Allie still dox Sam? Yes, she did. She doxed the wrong Sam, right? That's the video I have. Allie basically SA'ing wrong Sam, claiming Samara SA'd her, right? Well threatening to release the photos. All in one little video on the wrong Sam. This is you. You did that, Allie. Like, we still have that video, right? That wasn't Sam who made you do that. Maybe that was. I'd like to see those puppet strings, though. Sam made you dox the wrong Sam? Interesting. Walk us through that one. Told them that they're autistic, told them that they should be microdosing. She is a bad for a following and definitely bad for clients. She shouldn't have a large audience, and she shouldn't have a one-on-one audience that is paying her. She might consider a one-on-one audience that she is paying.
When you see videos about me talking about how I'm a cult leader, I want you to, listen to what these people are saying.
She doesn't want you to listen to what they're saying. This is the double speak. She wants you to only listen to what she is saying when you listen to what they're saying.
Who is an actual spiritual narcissist, which is what I've been educating about on.
No, again, she has not educated people against spiritual narcissism. She has labeled everyone, who, by the way, is autistic, as spiritual narcissists, yet labeled herself as autistic when we don't think she is. And she's the spiritual narcissist, and everyone else is autistic, and she sees that as the opposite. Chances are, Allie, statistics, there aren't that many spiritual narcissists. You're the spiritual narcissist.
On this channel for a very long time. They can't have a real talk with you. They can't apologize when they mess up. They will never take
She's literally telling on herself. She will never take accountability. She will never apologize when she messes up. She will say she will, right? She won't actually do it. Show me one time she has taken accountability. Not said she has, but actually done it. Show me one, please.
Accountability, kind of like what Roxy and AMW are doing right now. When they get backed into a corner.
You mean standing up for what's right, telling their side, looking for actual evidence, having actual evidence to back it up, but you taking the tiny bit of truth that you can stand on and running it so out of proportion that your followers are extremely dizzy and following for your culty lies. Yeah, it's been fun for all of us.
With the receipts.
No receipts.
Trying to deplatform me didn't work. So now,
to be clear, one of those receipts was a voice note on her phone with the date changed. It was supposedly a voice memo to a friend bad-mouthing one of her past friends, which painted Allie in a horrible light. Both that she considered that a receipt and what was said in it. Because who says that about a friend?
now they have to spin a new narrative. They can't just say, I'm sorry, we were wrong.
No. See, when you stand on truth and right, you don't need to spin a new narrative. You can get new information. It can change things. And then you can be like, oh, yeah, like we're going to do a SEM now, right? With new information, what would I say now, right? Because this is February, beginning of February. I believe March was when I found out what I believe who and what Sam is, right? That's just my opinion, of course. No, what was my point? What was my point previous 30 seconds ago, Jubilee? Because who says that about a friend?
Now they have to spin a new narrative. They can't
spin a new narrative. Narrative hasn't changed, right? Circus around a woman's death, you still have not owned in any way, have not fixed, have not owned, have not done anything to do with the circus you caused around Jessica's death, because you needed someone to have died for New Age spirituality so Allie could be the hero while she simultaneously turned Jessica into the villain and the victim and tied it on Jane. because Allie attacked Jane for a video Jane made on the 7th of January standing up for Ashley. At the same time, she decided she should turn Jessica's death into a circus because someone commented. One of her followers, right, was a friend, theoretically a friend of Jessica's, and said, hey, my friend just passed away. Could you cover this? Allie doesn't cover, I believe, suicide or spiritual psychosis. She simultaneously turns Jessica into the villain and the victim. We'll play more of this, and I can play that one because I got it on my desktop.
Can't just say, I'm sorry, we were wrong. They can't even just back.
Oh, you know what, though? I've seen both Jane and Roxy say, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. There's video of them out there saying, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Here's how I do better. There's none out there of you doing that, Allie, because you are the one who's a spiritual, you're a narcissist. I don't care if you're a narcissist. You're a narcissist. Putting spiritual in front of psychosis and spiritual in front of narcissism isn't helping.
Down. I don't expect an apology, but do you notice how they just keep digging in the dirt, right? That's
No, we're digging for truth. We're standing on truth. You're digging deeper and deeper.
That's what spiritual narcissism is. They can never just say like, yeah, you know what? There is a side of this that. So now Roxy has convinced a ton of people that I am a cult leader.
No, she hasn't. No, you've convinced people she's a cult leader. Roxy's platform is about cults and manifestation and educating people. So if in her educating her audience on what a cult and a cult leader is, you feel personally attacked, I'd look into that and not point fingers at Roxy.
And that I'm a criminal. But yeah.
There are arrest warrants out there. And you, by your own admission, I did a video earlier, very long form content on what will be the same channel under the live section. Yeah, you yourself say you're a detractor for police, all your situations in the past. That doesn't sound like someone who doesn't have run-ins with the law.
Just a few days ago, I was a fake therapist.
You can be both. You can be both a horrible cult leader and a fake therapist. They actually go hand in hand because you're taking on expertise that is not yours and attributing your lived experience to other people it shouldn't be attributed to, and doing nothing that you're actually saying you're doing. You're not educating. You're not sharing your experience. You're only attacking others and misunderstanding their beliefs and then attacking them for them.
Want is to hurt me. And
Nope. I don't want to hurt you. I don't think any of us want to hurt you. We want you to stop hurting others. Yeah. Allison needs to stop hurting herself, but whatever, and others. It's the others. It's the entire TikTok community. And if we could zoom into this, I believe you can see, is it this one where it's like, not in my house.
I grew up in a Christian cult. I was so abused by internet cults. My only passion in life is to help people get out of them. And is convincing people that I know personally that I'm a cult leader.
Right.
It's breaking.
Figuring how to pause these things. She never lied about you, and this is the like. She's like, well, she said that Pete was actually a person, and she vouched for me, and right. And then she stood up and owned that and took accountability. And that, like, now you're destroying her reputation. You're a lying liar, Allie. Everything that comes out of your mouth is a lie. I can't remember where we were because so much lies.
It's breaking my brain.
So it's breaking all our brains. It's literally brain damage. But what I wanted to say was just this, right? None of these women can back up what they say. Yeah, they can. I have long form content, literally like a dozen hours minimum on my channel right now, dissecting you and your channel. So I think I can. I think I can. Now, do I show receipts? They're all out there. I'm very precise in my language, in my wishy-washy language, as to what I do and don't, and what's just my opinion. But this is very telling. None of these women can back up what they say. This is my house, referring to TikTok. Because referring to your platform wouldn't be that, right? Because we can talk about you all we want outside of your little house. You can just stay in your house. No, you can't because it's TikTok? Exactly. And I will not be silenced. You don't have to stop talking. You have to stop broadcasting. By all means, you don't need to be silent. Be in your room, record the video. It's the following. It's the platform. And deplatform Allie. Deplatform One Miss likes to start cults.
And I just needed to document.
All right. We kept that to a tight 20 minutes, and I'm going to upload this to the channel. All right, so I'm going to play the 2 Jessica videos, one before she even watches Jessica's video that Jessica made on December 30th, which is the last video she released, and the other one after she's watched it. You can hear in here she's turning Jessica into the villain, exactly like Tina Fey, exactly like someone who causes everyone else to go through spiritual psychosis, and the victim, this poor woman's in spiritual psychosis, and you cost her potentially her only friend, who was your follower and listened to you and how you should treat someone in spiritual psychosis, which is bully them into non-existence, I guess. Right? Friends with Jen. As soon as Jen watches something and maybe comes to a conclusion this one might start cults, Allie blames Roxy. And that, like, what? No. Information convinced Jen. Information on what it is to be a cult, right? Instead of looking and reflecting, you just go out and cause more cults. The Jessica, you causing a circus around her death and still haven't owned it, still blaming it on Samara for some reason, and Roxy, and everyone but you. You did this.
Someone else passed away yesterday or this week because of New Age spirituality. Any chance you can call out the Laura Faye? Ugh. My friend just took her life because she believed she would ascend and was living as Jesus. Like, I'm not doing this because I want to start drama on TikTok. I'm doing this because people actually die. All the people that hate me, all the people that think I'm ridiculous, like, this is why. This person left another comment saying, and I recognize the profile picture. They were like, oh, I started following you a few months ago. Remember, my friend was getting deep into this stuff, and I was so concerned for them. I left you comments, and I do remember. And they just found that person not living.
So that was before she ever watched the video, right? She's both jumping on, right? Her friend, like, that you understand the cause of death from a comment. And then that cause of death, even if it was true, that it was unaliving, that it was due to New Age spirituality. Her friend doesn't know that. You don't know that. The only person who knows that would be Jessica. And even she, if she was in spiritual psychosis, wouldn't know that, right? Whatever you're doing, what you were doing with TikTok, what you are doing on Instagram and YouTube is not helping people in spiritual psychosis. It's not helping people not unalive. It's doing the exact effing opposite. It's isolating people who need help the most. And when people ask for help, you make fun of them. When people call the police because you asked people to call the police. You were in a mental health crisis. You use that as a weapon. You're doing all of the things wrong in order to guarantee future people will ask for help when they need it. People will give them help when they need it. Here's the other one. Even more, she's turning Jessica into the victim and the villain. And she's breaking her own brain while doing it. I'm sure she was a lovely person.
Just watched
saying she's Tina Fey.
This person's final video before they took their own life because of New Age spirituality. And I am on the fucking floor. She sounded exactly like quantum shifting. She didn't even sound like, you know, when Gabby Hanna had her meltdown, the person who just took their own life, this person's friend, didn't even sound like Gabby Hanna. She was very, like, she was just talking about vibration and the matrix and how she can't do it anymore, basically, but she sounded exactly like Alex Surf's Tea. The Laura Faye is a very different creator, and she is not harmful, and she is the sweetest person on this app. The Laura Faye better get to know my name. That I am. This person started following me a few months ago. They said that their friend was getting really deep into this stuff and they were worried about it. And that friend is now gone. That friend put a YouTube video up before she took her own life. And I just watched it. And this is why I do these things. I almost took my own life, and I was not even half as deep in as this poor woman. All she talked about was the Matrix, NPCs, how most people here are soulless, how like we aren't using our energy correctly. She believes that she is Christ consciousness. Where did she get that? Where have we heard people say that they are Christ consciousness before? She believes that she creates the entire universe and that we only existed to serve her, and that we were being rude to her, and that we were essentially NPCs. I mean, she said so many different things. She seems like a beautiful person. This is why I make these videos. The lucky girl syndrome, all this stuff is a pipeline into new age spirituality where people seriously leave this earth because they think they are ascended beings. This is a real person. This person, that she was real, and she is not on this earth anymore. I need a break. And I am so sorry that she...
Get so confused when I have the little things. Okay, so now back to, I'm going to play what besides the stalking definition, which was just unwanted attention, right? Which is, Allie's absolutely doing that. Everyone's doing that. That is what it is to have a parasocial relationship. It is not the legal criminal definition of stalking. Allie is very confused. She seems to think that when I post a public video of me crying, she's snuck into my living room and is peeping through my window. Not the case. When I've watched her publicly available content, that I'm somehow sneaking in and reading her diary, right? Very different, right? Very different things. Publicly available content. We know the secret about, you mean the thing that I posted publicly with my full chest? Go off. Because here's, like, they keep saying, right? You need help. Yes, I do. And I'm admitting it. And the fact that triggers the fuck out of all of you is going to cause people to unalive. Not me, but other people who are less courageous to ask for help, have less connection. People like Allie, maybe? This is the video, right, where she's like, and I almost unalive. That's before she's the weaponized night, right? When she got multiple people called wellness checks on her. Because her parents upstairs weren't doing it, when she could have walked upstairs and been like, hey, mommy and daddy, I'm having a hard time. No, she recorded herself in the bathtub and posted on Instagram to her followers instead. Tried it again a few months later, but after having used it as a weapon, no one called. Here's my video of her, right, for her, of Darvo around this time. Let's not, Darvo, let's not drama triangle. Right? Let's not turn people into the victim and the villain at the same time so you can play the hero.
Who's abusing you turns you into the abuser.
Darvo is meant to be something that's calculated. Darvo is not something that is actually happening here. You all are just stuck in a drama triangle. You need to be the heroes, so that you have created both a victim and a villain. Allie specifically, I don't think this is on purpose. I don't think she can see it. But she needs this so that she has a social media platform. And she knows that she can no longer go after the big accounts and the villains. So by her own account, She was waiting for people to come after her so that she could go after them as villains. To be the hero, she needs there to be a victim. She warned everybody. Why weren't we listening to her? This poor victim that she has now centered herself in as the hero and turned everyone who doesn't see it this way as the villain. And anyone who doesn't see her as the hero and this poor person, death, how could you not care about somebody's death, is a villain. And not seeing that this is her own creation, the entire community's own creation. Needing there to be a villain, the toxically spiritual community. Throw all of the babies out with all of the bathwater. It's all horrible. We've been victimized. Now it's time to step in and be the hero. It causes great tea and drama and feeds the algorithm, but it doesn't actually help anyone because no one wants to be the victim. No one wants to be the villain. Everyone wants to be the hero. Luckily, there's a counter to the drama triangle, and that is TED, the empowerment dynamic. None of these are mine. The hero becomes the coach, the villain, the challenger, and the victim, the creator. This one does not make great social media content, and it doesn't feel as good and as fun to be the coach instead of the hero. You go from being number one to really, no one even really talks about you. The victim with no power and no agency and needs all of us to step in and save them becomes the center of the story, the creator, the one who solves it. The villain is challenging us to be empowered and to co-create solutions. We all constantly get to decide if we're going to be part of the drama triangle or the empowerment dynamic. Choose wisely.
Merch, ASAC tears.
No, she didn't make merch. She made a picture. You know how I know? Because I couldn't buy it. And I had to instead make my own. See? And this way it can also be used on TikTok without me needing to change the screen around. I love it. You know why? Because I made it without Canva. I just used a Sharpie. Good old narc tears. It'll also be empty because they're faux tears. Which is the whole point, right? It's not we're laughing at her actual sadness. It's her ridiculousness of constantly playing the victim while being the biggest bully. The biggest. I'm going to try to keep this video to 10 minutes. Allie is constantly asking, what did I do to you? Why can't we have an adult conversation? While implying we're the ones who all can't have adult conversations. So I'm going to try to keep one video that can be an answer for Allie about what she's done to each and every one of us. So I'm going to start with me. And I want to first iterate that each of the people that's going to follow is a friend, is somebody I care about, right? So not only in my list, but also you've involved my friends and family. Allison has involved my friends and family, and her followers have involved them. So my sense of justice, my need for my friends to get justice, for there to be truth and love in the world. Each and every day, Allie wakes up with a new way to torment my friends. So my list. She put me in her YouTube videos multiple times, trying to make me look crazy, picking the videos that are going to make me look as big red flag as possible. Not the ones that educate, especially in the beginning. She's continually saying that I'm violent and will stab her. And when that didn't work, she escalated it to say she's worried about my child and the physical safety of her, and implying that I am like the parents who go and unalive their own children. Comparing me directly to mothers, naming the mothers that have done that. She called me on Instagram relentlessly on voice notes, like where you call someone live. It's very creepy, despite saying, don't do that. Let's set up a time to chat. Says that I'm never supposed to contact her, yet each and every time she's the one who contacts me, and she's the one who's constantly saying I'm dangerous, but poking at me. She contacted my mother on Facebook, calls and threatens to call Vancouver Police Department and CPS constantly, gets her followers to call the Vancouver Police Department daily by her own admission. She has had Frankie, Hegskjær, and Angela calling the Vancouver Police Department on me over nothing. I have had the Vancouver Police Department show up at my door for a wellness check on May 4th of this year with no evidence that I needed one, but that's how Allie and her people roll. Hours of lives, that I have hours of content on this channel, is the only critique they actually have of me. It's what Hegskjær pointed out to my mother. So much content, because Allie's done a lot, and I've been chronologically it in real time. Chronicling it. Why can't I say chronicling it ever? Chronicling it in real time. Next on the list is Jessica, the woman who died at the very beginning of this year. Allie was calling her P. I called her Gina for part of, I believe, the timeline video that I may link in the description. Her name's Jessica. Her name's P. Allie turned her death into a circus. She erroneously claimed that she knew the cause of death for her own selfish needs because she needed someone to have died from New Age spirituality, from spiritual psychosis, because she had been warning people about it. She's claiming that Jessica's in spiritual psychosis while directly isolating those that are in a state of spiritual psychosis. She's not actually offering any help. This is really the problem with part of the drama triangle that I've pointed out so many times. She posted a friends-only video of Jane questioning, is P a real person? She posted it in an instant to her 500,000 followers. Both of her accounts trying to make it go viral, again, centering herself in Jessica's death. That is what she happened to have done on my birthday. She has a really weird newer video where she calls Justice Takes Flight and basically makes us all responsible for everything her and her followers did, and implying it's just weird, and just wanted that in there. Again, and this poor woman's on voice memos telling Allie, like, don't worry about the circus you caused. And Allie has posted it on Instagram. She didn't hold the conference or any kind of remembrance of Jessica in any way, shape, or form. She stirred up and created all this grief around this woman's death and then did nothing to alleviate it. And when her friend created a conference, which we'll get into under Roxy, Allie refused to do it. And then it makes Roxy wrong for that. She hurt Jessica's friends and family, especially the one who first left the comment. Now on to Jane / Emily / AMW / whatever name Allie wants to make up in the moment to be mean and cruel. She, of course, tied Jessica's death to Jane. She attacked Jane for very misunderstood spiritual beliefs and very misunderstood video on mentioning Allie can be a bully and harm people and harass people. And then Allie went on to prove that. Jane posted that on the 7th. Allie responded to Jane's video on the 10th attacking Jane and responded about Jessica's death from one of Jessica's friends. Allie tied the two together on January 10th, 6 months ago today. Allie made fun of everything about Jane, but especially her painful condition. Allie's made fun of it several times. She's so ableist. She's erased or attempted to erase or belittle the identities, etc., disability, neurodiversity, size, ability, education, music, dancing, wardrobe, gender, sexuality, constant misgendering on purpose, while having an audience that cares about that, and Allie is playing a part where she's pretending to care about that. She has had a local to Jane, who is a cult follower of Allie's, clearly, doing illegal things in the weird jury spot to getting close to their cult-like follower. So Allie has someone local to Jane who's a parasocial crush of hers, right, as parasocial crush on Allie, setting info on Jane. Both Jane's jury duty and a dating profile that Allie blew up and made a big deal about. She's posted Jane's deceased grandmother while bad-mouthing both the grandmother and Jane at the same time, multitasking bullying. Allie, of course, has repeatedly called Jane's school and gotten her followers to call Jane's school. And she constantly uses any name, any slur, insinuates, and she created an entire wardrobe in her imagination for Jane and then made fun of her for it for days. Okay. On to Roxy. The first thing she did is she roped Roxy into Jessica's death, this circus she had created. When Jane questioned, is P a real person? Allie got her friend at the time to vouch that Jessica was a real person by having Roxy watch Jessica's last video. So Allie tied Roxy's reputation in with Allie's circus and Allie's lies. Then she yelled at Roxy for an hour, not letting Roxy get off the phone when Roxy had done all this work about a conference. Then she badmouthed her in a voice memo to a friend that day, covering her butt because she knew she was in the wrong and wanted to make it appear Roxy would have been in the wrong. She still looks at that as a receipt. That'll be linked in the comments. She sent a memo to a friend badmouthing Roxy on the day of the phone call. She promoted Roxy's book, then badmouthed it, all before reading it. She attacked Roxy for a conference she did hold with only one participant back at the beginning of the year. The participant had no problem with that, or had a problem but didn't actually voice it like a grown-up until Allie and Roxy had a falling out, and then like all of Allie's racist followers, she went and attacked Allie. We also have a video of that. She then, of course, also attacked Roxy and called her a scammer for the conference. They were going to have a pay what you can, partly as a fundraiser for Jessica. And Allie has implied that Roxy's out for money. Roxy's a scammer. Roxy has no integrity every chance she can get. Which brings, it was much more risk to Roxy because Roxy's a Black woman. And Allie has brought up racism and that Roxy's using racism as a weapon more times than Roxy's ever brought up racism. And again, she's a Black woman. All right, so are we through Roxy's list? I mean, we're never through Roxy's list. Allie's just constantly sending her racist, ableist followers. But she's saying she's a scammer with no integrity and a liar. Her racist, ableist followers sent after Roxy daily. She's recently started saying she's going to physically go to her city. She keeps playing violent music, like music with violent lyrics that suggest, and she's been doing the whole time violent gestures while dancing, while talking about Roxy and with Roxy's picture up there. Again, from her racist followers. She is saying that Roxy is plagiarizing and all of her books are AI generated. She says that she attacks Roxy for not doing things like this constant, like Roxy knew the truth about this and she should have made an entire content pushing the lie, the spin, and everything. None of it makes sense. Even if they were friends, it wouldn't make sense for her to do that, let alone for an ex-friend to be like, I would like to come and set the record straight. It just doesn't make sense. She's constantly just implying that Roxy should not be on Adderall, or that Allie knows anything about Roxy's current or past medical conditions. Allie just projects all of her addiction and all of her undiagnosed medical issues onto everyone else, but somehow especially Roxy. All right, what Allie has done to Michelle / Rolling Rosemary. She DM'd her on Instagram swearing. That was her first contact after some, I think, back and forth in the comments on TikTok. She made a TikTok attacking her. She posted purposely viral. She made it to go viral. A video of Michelle breaking down and begging Allie to stop and that she was struggling. Allie stitched it, made fun of her, posted it so it would go viral multiple times, picked the one that went viral and posted it to her other account. Making fun of I'll be generous, fellow autistic in a meltdown. So then she got CPS called on Michelle and is constantly calling her parenting into question even now. She's implied that since Michelle is currently not having alcohol or smoking, that somehow Michelle had a deep problem, and every video Michelle made was, she was drunk. And that's why all this happened, despite that not being at all what was talked about on the podcast. And she constantly does that, implies she's not listening to the podcast, while also jumping to gross conclusions that definitely shouldn't be jumped to third and fourth hand, right? She is constantly attacking Michelle for a picture of merch that Michelle made with ASAC tears on it, right? Just constantly. Michelle talks about how she's gotten on medication to mediate the harm caused by Allie's constant attack of her and her new friends. And Allie, again, goes on to imply that everyone who's on any kind of prescription is an addict and has a problem, and the doctor shouldn't have prescribed it, and she knows all autistic brains better. I'm not kidding. Okay. And she's implying that Michelle has a drug and alcohol problem simply because she's currently choosing to abstain, right? Okay, Carrie Ann. Definitely not be able to carry it and cover it all because, again, she finds new ways to torture this woman daily. But she started off calling her an MLM girly, right? Making fun of her looks and just jumping to the conclusion that she came from money and therefore making all these assumptions that when she found out she didn't come from money made Carrie Ann wrong for it, right? Carrie Ann's the liar. She put her in the YouTube video as well, trying to make fun of her, trying to attack her. She's implied at the time that since they're warning She's implied that this trademark wording of like, we're going to get you off of TikTok is a death threat. And she constantly, it's the closest thing she has to a threat, despite the fact she's constantly saying, and that's one of the things she did to Roxy and Jane, is she implied she was getting threats from Jane. She's implied everyone's responsible for all burner accounts, every bad thing that's ever been said about her to her, including her own inner voice, right? Everyone else is responsible for that. But specifically, she told her friend at the time, Roxy, that Jane was a threat to her and her family, which is why Roxy sent a friends only video, why Roxy sent personal information on Jane, because she was worried about her friend, right? All right, Lauren, carry on. It implied at the time that the trademark was a death threat. TikTok account, her TikTok account became unusable. She no longer has her bigger TikTok account, where she started holding Allie accountable. Our CPS was also called, and implications of her being a bad parent. I don't think I have it on here, but also her constant, again, bringing up of racism, and Carrie Ann using her kids as tokens when Allie's the one doing it. Allie's the one, I can't. Implied, we read that one, TikTok accountable, became unusable, CPS being called implications of being a bad parent, implies buying the trademark illegal, that there's this like big, huge crime that was committed because Allie's not on TikTok anymore. Not a crime. Deeply not a crime. In contact with her dangerous in-laws, that will be linked in the description, who Carrie Ann is not in contact with for a reason. Allie talked with, reported, and posted conversations with Carrie Ann's brother and mother. She, on her own birthday, Allie celebrated her birthday, leaving for Carrie Ann's partner, Brian, being horrible to him and his partner and their kids. Allie contacted Carrie Ann's lawyer, tying up the phone line and making fun of her and making Allie look bad. She's asked her followers multiple times to give Carrie Ann's food truck business unrelated ad reviews. Threatened to drive to her city, threatened to drive there and somehow put up signs about the food truck, threatened to call all the food truck vendors. Contact Carrie Ann food truck herself, claims she's tokenizing her partner and her kids while doing it herself. CPS called implications for being a bad parent. I may have doubled some of those. But anyway, the Sams, right? Just quickly, because she has done, even if they're not perfect, right? Badmouthed her client at the time, Samara, to her friend Roxy at the time. At the time, she was her client, and right after. That doesn't make Allie look good. Did not understand nor set healthy boundaries of a client, right? It had no amount of confidentiality during or after. She pushed an autism diagnosis on multiple clients and microdosing advice on multiple clients. She was very reliant on this one paid client and the danger that posed to both of them. Just like misunderstanding the parasocial relationship, misunderstanding the coach-client, paid-payee relationship. DM saying this better not be you. She was threatening Samara right off the bat as soon as they weren't clients. Just really smart. Currently going after her very rich relatives right now on Instagram and her potential ex-business partners or current friends. I don't know. Accused another influencer of essay on behalf of Samara without proof. Then it was like, Samara didn't have proof, despite the fact it doesn't look like Samara asked her to do that. Maybe told her that, but didn't ask her to actually do that, right? Threatened to post nudes of her online, not even if she no longer had the pictures at the time. Was like, why are you doing this thing when I have stuff I could use on you? She, of course, threatened the wrong Sam. She doxed. And then when those two Sams had a falling out, Sam S. and Allie now has those, and both constantly says Sam Shura's full name, Samara's full name, and it's, she's not treated well, right? They're not on my list of I consider it a slight because you're being mean to them is being mean to me. Right? They're human beings. I do care about them, but it's not the same as that is what you've done. I'm sorry it had to be almost 20 minutes. That is just me reading off the list, basically. And this is going to be the video that sits on this channel as to why there is so much content here. That's not even all of my friends. Those are just the ones recent. So we already looked at, damn it, why do you do that? You know how many times I just paused the thing while it was up? So many times, and it still went on. It still went on the next. All right, that's because we didn't go back far enough. Let's just refresh, shall we? I had it at the right time, Mark. Now just let me actually pause it. Technology. There we go. All right. That was a fun technology. So we already looked at, right? I already actually played the cup thing, which is what she said. Like the worst thing Michelle did was the cup, right? Ace, the freaking Narcnado. This is the death threat. This is the closest thing. This is what she does when she gets something that she perceives as a threat. She posts it and calls it a death threat. No, is she has not gotten text messages, emails, any actual threat. Because so very clearly, Carrie Ann in this comment from way back when, that will come in real life. Don't worry. I don't know what that's a response to. But when you disappear, they will know it was me. TikTok, as in when you disappear off TikTok, right? Very clearly. When you disappear off TikTok, this is a warning to back up your, right? Well, geez. Okay, that's at an hour. We are going to call it here. And we are going to possibly come right back and watch something, but we will keep this one here, like I said.